Welcome to the Stevia Show. It's the Stevia Show. Helping you expand on what you know. Throw in a meme of the week and a review of the screen. And you have a show that covers everything.
How's it going, Team Stevia? Welcome to episode 72 of The Stevia Show.
A talk show podcast that covers pop culture, world news, local artistry, and everything in between.
As always, this is Steven.
And this is Lydia.
From 6 feet away.
Oh,
live.
Yeah. Look, 6 feet.
Probably not, but...
Maybe 4.
Okay, maybe. I don't know. Because, 6 feet is my arm span. And there's no...
So we're half of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, 3 feet, I think we're okay. And this is, the first time we've left the house.
This is the first time I've seen you in a week.
Yes, so I think we're good. I think we're okay. The stores are actually restocking.
They are.
Yeah.
I went in and it wasn't as scary as it was 3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm just sticking to the strategy of going in the morning because I feel like that has been working best. So I went at 5 o'clock on Friday and nobody was there. Oh, okay.
Because it's Friday.
Well, you did have a bit of a sour cream debacle.
Yes, that was on Wednesday. Then I went at 4 o'clock and nobody has sour cream. Gotcha. It was so weird. But then I went to Walmart on Friday and they had all the sour cream.
Gotcha. So
Target didn't have sour cream. Research I took the last of the 3 left. I took the last one. Mm-hmm. It's just there's a sour cream shortage, I guess.
I guess so.
And milk. And eggs and everything, actually.
We've been able to find milk, no problem. That's been our easiest thing to find.
We found milk.
Out of essentials, but yeah.
But also, I think we could go to Brahms and get milk. Which, did you know that the Brahms guy died? We didn't even put that on our thing.
Man, and that's
we'll just talk about it right now.
Yeah, we will. Did you say the tagline? I don't think we got to it because we talked about the 6 feet away thing. We've already branched out. Okay, so let's go ahead and say the tagline really quick.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Even though you're normally the one who says this. So for those of you who are still listening, 2 minutes into this, we are a talk show podcast that covers pop culture.
I already said that.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. I said the tagline. Okay.
No, I said the tagline, and then you said from 6 feet away.
That's right. Okay, that's right. So we hope you all enjoyed episode 71, where we basically shared that we're going to get through this together because we are. I think within the past week, things have already started us to kind of calm down a little bit.
People are not freaking out as much.
No, I think people...
They're still freaking out, but not as much when it comes to the grocery store thing.
Yes.
People aren't panic buying.
Right.
They're more just buying what they need because they've realized that they're not going to shut the grocery stores down, I think.
Right, and getting in and getting out.
Right.
Because governors, as we did mention, they did label it as essential. So we're going to go ahead and just go right into it.
Are we jumping into it today?
We are jumping into it.
All right, click the button.
Yeah, click the button. This is going to be the meme of the week. And as always, it was a well-fought battle between mostly... I feel like everybody's just been sad the past few weeks. I haven't been doing as much OC. I did 2 yesterday.
I actually did not do any.
Yeah, because...
I haven't done any in a while.
It's been a bummer. There's
also,
nothing...
It's a lot of work sometimes.
Well, and there's also nothing to meme about because nothing's been happening.
Yeah, and what you're going to meme about? The coronavirus? Because literally that's what everybody's memeing about.
Well, that's what...
So it's meh.
Well, see, I tried to switch it up Friday by doing some Joe Exotic memes, and I still lost to Dalton this past week, but now currently it is Matt, so we'll talk about Dalton next week.
Right.
So Matt did Pinky in the Brain, and it's where Brain is asking Pinky, what are we going to do today? And then Brain says the same thing as everything else, take over the world, and it's COVID-19. So that was the meme. It is about coronavirus. And Lydia, you endured a pretty bad movie.
I endured a really bad movie.
Okay, so let's hear it.
Hit the button.
That's so refreshing compared to the battle theme.
I really love it.
Yeah.
So this week we went and watched in our own living room apartment couch. We watched Dark Phoenix, which if you guys remember, we were gonna watch this movie last year. It came out last year, 2019.
Right.
And we were gonna go watch it for a week, and we got tickets. And then Matt told me that he'd never seen any of the X-Men. So I was like, we're not going to watch this movie if you've never seen any of the X-Men.
Right.
Well, then here we are in the middle of quarantine, and we're like, well, what is there to watch? So he puts on Dark Phoenix. Still has not seen any of the X-Men.
But desperate times call for desperate measures.
Desperate times calls for desperate. So I just let it happen. So Dark Phoenix is basically the premise is the X-Men face their most formidable formidable and powerful foe when one of their own, Jean Grey, starts to spiral out of control. During a rescue mission in outer space, Jean is nearly killed when she's hit by a mysterious cosmic force. Once she returns home, this force not only makes her indefinitely more powerful, but far more unstable. The X-Men now must band together to save her soul and battle aliens that want to use Grey's new ability to rule the galaxy.
Okay, sounds pretty serious.
Okay, Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 23% splat.
Yikes.
I was just going to give it a 5 out of 10. IMDb, their score was like a 5.7 out of 10, so it was just bad. I mean, the other X-Men movies are really good, and it's like when they start branching off, like doing this kind of stuff.
Because like Logan was exceptional, right? The Logan series,
oh,
I heard was fantastic. I didn't see those.
Logan is fantastic, yeah.
Okay.
And X-Men, the first two of these X-Men are really good.
Okay.
But don't watch Dark Phoenix. You don't need to.
Okay.
Don't even waste your time.
Okay.
Next up I have 2 TV shows that we watched this week. Westworld season 3 is out. So if you guys don't know what Westworld isn't your typical amusement park. Intended for rich vacationers, and the futuristic park, which is looked after by robotic hosts, I put hosts in quotes, allows its visitors to live out their fantasies through artificial consciousness. No matter how illicit the fantasy may be, there are no consequences for the park's guests, allowing for any wish to be indulged. Westworld, which is based on the 1973 Michael Crichton movie of the same name, features an all-star cast that includes Oscar winner Anthony Hopkins.
Nice.
And so it's on season 3. Matt and I love this show. It's very futuristic, very crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It is one of those movies that actually there's so much going on that you have to really pay attention to it.
Gotcha.
It's not even a movie. Sorry, I don't know why I said movie, but it's one of those shows.
Gotcha. Now, isn't it one of those that kind of like really mess with your head?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because
100% going to mess with your head.
Because a lot of people have tried to get me to watch it, and I still haven't finished Chernobyl, and I know that's kind of.
Oh, Chernobyl was so good.
I know, and now that I have all this free time, I should probably
finish it.
Yeah, probably finish Chernobyl.
It's pretty good.
Okay.
I bet they make a sidebar. I bet they make a show over this.
Oh, I'm
pandemic,
sure they will. Yeah, probably here in
think?
like 5 or 10 years, I'd say so. Yeah.
It'll be like Chernobyl, but COVID-19.
But COVID-19, absolutely.
How it took over the world.
Yeah.
And then my final show that we just binge watched yesterday, well, actually this weekend, since this is Monday. This weekend, Ozark season 3. So I don't know, have you watched Ozark yet?
No, but I've heard it's really good.
Oh, it's so good. So this is a drama series that stars Jason Bateman as Marty Bird, and a financial planner who relocates his family from Chicago to a summer resort community in the Ozarks. With wife Wendy and their 2 kids in tow, Marty is on the move after a money laundering scheme goes wrong, forcing him to pay off a substantial debt to the Mexican drug lord in order to keep his family safe. While the Birds' fate hang in the balance, the dire circumstances force the fractured family to reconnect. So that's basically what is happening.
Okay.
That's like the season 1 definition, more likely. Season 3 just came out, and they're way deeper than they are in season 1. But if you guys haven't watched it, it's a great show to just binge watch. It's so good.
Yeah, sounds good. And I really like Jason Bateman. Like,
me too.
Yeah, like whenever people ask me like who would play me in a movie or whatever.
Oh, Jason Bateman?
I'd say Jason Bateman for me.
I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's who I'd say.
He's great.
He is great.
Everything he plays in, I love him in.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And there was just one other show I watched the other day with Jason Bateman in it, but I can't remember. He doesn't last very long in it.
Oh, okay. So then it wasn't Arrested Development or...
No, it's a newer one.
Oh, okay. Then I don't know what it is.
I think it was on Netflix or something, but yeah, I'm a big Jason Bateman fan.
Cool.
Anyways, Westworld, Ozark, and don't watch Dark Phoenix.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good. All right. So do you want to go ahead and talk about about your interesting map?
Here we go. Down to the main segment. Here we go. Another COVID-19 update from my favorite GIS map. So as of right now, as of, what is the date today?
I think that's been a lot of,
I have no idea what day it is.
I think today's the 26th. It is the 29th. Wow. I'm bad. Okay. I'm bad. Today's the 29th.
So as of...
And we're releasing this on the 30th. So
as of March 29th, there are 704,095 confirmed cases worldwide of the COVID-19. 33,509 deaths, 148,842 people have recovered.
Oh, wow.
The USA has 132,637 cases with 2,351 deaths and 2,612 recovered. And this has put the USA leading in the world with the most cases by 50,000. So this week we passed China and Italy.
Oh, wow.
So big news. And then some sad news is my favorite prince. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite prince. Prince Charles is not my favorite prince. But Prince Charles has the coronavirus, and Boris Johnson, who is the Prime Minister of the UK, have the coronavirus.
Yes. And basically the Queen stays safe.
And hopefully the Queen is safe and she's good to go.
I think she will be. I mean, the Queen's...
Stephen was like, she's going to live through, outlast all of us anyways. Yeah. And I was like, you're right.
I saw a meme and it was of like God creating, Adam and Eve or whatever. Yeah. And then they asked, okay, but who's this? And then God's like, oh, this is just Queen Elizabeth II. She was here when I got here.
So, she was here when I got here.
Just saying that she's going to live forever.
I love that.
Because she probably is.
So yeah, that's all I have with our COVID-19 update for this week.
Yes, and then so we do have a lot of, or not a lot of, but we do have some good news coming out of this as far as the United States goes. So President Trump signs the largest stimulus package in American history. So PBS reported on March 27th that President Trump signed a massive $2.2 trillion economic rescue package. This is the same package that will give nearly every American a one-time $1,200 check via mail. The bill passed the Senate unanimously on Wednesday, March 25th, so businesses both big and small will be receiving loans, tax breaks, and grants. So this is obviously much more sweeping than the Dodd-Frank Act that was passed in 2010 under President Obama. That was the whole too big to fail thing with the large banks, and then of course that's the very famous one where we didn't get bailed out, just the big companies. So it is nice that while $1,200 might not be enough for Americans living in larger cities or whatever, at least they are doing something.
At least it's a little bit of a bump.
Right, to help us out. Because last time this happened, we got nothing. We got diddly squat.
Right. So, along with this, too, I wanted to point out that they did a wiggle in there that there is a 0% interest loan for companies that have more than 500 workers.
Right, and I think there's also similar loans for small businesses, but of course they did sneak that in. But so while the big corporations are still getting bailed out, I am glad that at least we are this time as well. So that's...
at least we're the people are part of it.
Right.
Which is really cool too. I don't know if you saw this, but they'll actually, if you did your 2019 taxes and you put your direct deposit, they're just going to direct deposit in your account.
Which that makes a lot more sense.
And we want to warn you guys too, we want to make sure that you're not... if you do get, a lot of people have already started doing the fraudulent stuff, like sending fake checks in the mail.
Right.
So if you're out there, just be very careful.
Don't give anybody your checking or routing number.
Yeah, don't do that. And don't cash in checks in the mail unless you know for sure it's from the United States government.
It basically says in the return address, President Donald Trump, Pennsylvania Avenue, all of that fun stuff. Yes. And then also it's good to know that originally so whenever during the workings of this bill, whenever people who were being thought of who, whether there was going to be like a wealth limit or whatever on the bill. I would like to give a shout out to Senator Bernie Sanders, who did include gig workers. So that's how this eventually evolved into everybody getting $1,200, because it was originally based off of, if you're employed and whatnot, but then if you're a gig worker, that doesn't really technically count as employment, even though...
Steven, explain what a gig worker is.
Yeah, so a gig worker is going to be anybody who works for Uber, Lyft, Postmates, or does things on Fiverr, basically websites where you are exchanging money to a third-party servicer like Airbnb. So all of that is basically the gig economy, which has been a big issue in the 2020 election. So while that definitely is having a job, it's like I don't think you can file it on your taxes and stuff
Right.
like that. So originally those people would have been left out, but now thankfully it's been included for every American.
Yeah.
So that's great.
That's really awesome.
That is good. And then how we are handling this locally is actually, I'm glad that something finally happened. So the Oklahoman reported on March 26th that Governor Kevin Stitt signed a safer at home order. And basically, Lydia, what does this impose?
Sure. Adults over 65 and people with underlying medical conditions are required to stay home until April 30th, except for essential errands, which an essential errand is literally like grocery store and back home.
And also the pharmacy.
And pharmacy.
Yeah.
Like, and doctor.
Yeah.
Like, essential means you go there and you come back. It doesn't mean you go shopping and then come back.
Right.
It's like, people need to realize that.
Right.
Gatherings of 10 or more people are prohibited. So question, when they say prohibited, if there's a gathering of 10 or more people, are they going to start arresting people, or how does this work?
Practically no. I don't think...
Fines? $50, $50.
Well, I don't think logistically that's possible is what I'm saying. If we were to have a gathering of 10 or more people, hypothetically, like here in Stevia Studios, we would have to, one, be caught, two, somebody else would have to call the police on us, and then three, the police might not even, because then they would risk getting in contact with it too. But the Attorney General of Oklahoma did say that you could be charged with a misdemeanor. But like I said, I don't foresee this being, everybody's going to snitch on everybody. That's just not, I don't think that'll happen.
No, I'm just thinking okay, maybe they went to the park and there's a gathering at the park.
Oh, okay. Then yes, I think that would be an easier one to impose.
Yeah.
But if there just happens to be 10 people
running, if we threw a party, nobody would really know.
Right. Yeah. And also keep in mind that gatherings means like you said, picnics or, 5Ks, things like that.
Yeah. When you're closer than 6 feet.
Right. But and now we would like to stress that you can still go to the park. You can still go to the trail as long as you are maintaining that distance. But it's not like if 10 people happen to be there, you all are busted. Just just be safe.
No.
Right.
And I think they just mean close together, right?
Right. But again, the possibility of a misdemeanor is there, but I think that's more or less just for deterrence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Medical providers are required to postpone all elective surgeries, minor medical procedures, and dental procedures until April 7th. Plot twist. So I was supposed to have a doctor's appointment at the end of April.
Uh-huh.
It was April 18th or something, and my doctor called me and was like, "Hey, do you just want to do a viral doctor's appointment?" And I was like, "What?" And she goes, "Yeah, I have an opening this coming Tuesday at 9:15, and I'll just FaceTime you, and we can answer all the questions."
A virtual appointment, not a viral appointment.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
virtual. Sorry.
Okay.
A virtual appointment, and I've never had one of those before.
Oh, that's rad. But okay, so you don't want it going viral because that's your personal medical details. Okay, just making sure.
No, virtual. Okay. I definitely meant virtual. I don't know why I said viral.
Yeah, we're just going to share all
How
Lydia's we're going to share all of Lydia's medical history.
That would be so weird. But yeah, so I just wanted, that was a cool little thing. So now I don't even have to leave to go to the doctor.
Yeah, things are really getting pretty convenient.
It really is. I wonder if things will stay the same. What do you think?
I think things are going to go back to normal, but I think people can realize that a lot of things can be done virtually.
A lot of meetings can be an email.
Oh, yeah. Thank God. If that comes out of this...
10 out of 10.
Yeah, that will at least make up for being at home.
Oh, 100%.
So, absolutely. And then... go ahead. Sorry.
We have one more. Visitors are prohibited at Oklahoma nursing homes, long-term care facilities, and retirement homes, which is really sad.
That is sad, but that's going to be your vulnerable populations.
I know. But that population, I've seen more people of the vulnerable population at Walmart than I have in a long time.
Well, if you're going to tell baby boomers to do something and be like, oh, no,
I'm going to do the opposite.
I'm going to do the opposite. I don't need the government.
I lived through all of this other stuff.
Right. And then they might get coronavirus. So don't be doing that.
And they die from COVID.
And then News 9 stated that on the 26th that Oklahoma, we finally received 10,000 test kits from the federal government. Governor Kevin Stitt has ordered 5 drive-through testing locations to be open in Oklahoma, one in Tulsa, one in Oklahoma City, one in Ponca City, and one in McAllister. These are kind of the big population regions of different parts of the state, that being Southeast Oklahoma, Central South Oklahoma, Northwest Oklahoma, and Northeast Oklahoma, which is where most of our population centers are. And also, Tulsa Mayor G.T. Bynum issued a safer at home order that would last through March 28th to April 16th, which is basically just a stricter restriction than what Governor Stitt says. which is great.
Yeah, I'm just glad that our local homies are doing something about it.
Yeah, and I'm also really glad that Mary Fallon is not in charge during this.
It would be so bad if Fallon was in charge. What would happen? She'd be like this, ooh, what's going on?
Oh, yeah, just like, woo, just like that. That was funny. But it is worth noting that even though some people might not think Kevin Stitt went far enough, I can't imagine what Mary Fallon would have done, probably because nothing would have happened.
Zero.
Yeah, and it would remind me a lot of what's happening right now in Alabama with Kay Ivey, who has still not signed a measure like this. So in Alabama, people are still allowed to roam freely and do whatever they want, and
they're gonna get hit hard here in a minute.
That's
because Louisiana has so many, like over, I think it was like 2,000, around 2,000 cases, and they're right next door, like they're right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it was really interesting what you've actually said in a private chat between you and I that you might want to bring up, is that now that these numbers are spiking, people are kind of starting to think, oh, the infection's growing, but in reality, it's just we're finally getting our tests.
Right.
So can you kind of reiterate that to our listeners? Yeah,
for sure. We talked about this a little bit last week too, but just remember that, now that we have 10,000 test kits, that's in theory 6,000 of those test kits might be positive.
Right.
So if 60% of the people get tested, actually have it. So what's going to happen is a lot of people are going to be able to get tested, and that means that the tests are coming back faster. Some of them are coming back within 72 hours,
which is great,
which is awesome. But it's going to show that our numbers are just going to keep climbing and climbing, and people are going to start thinking, oh crap, it's spreading faster and faster. When in reality, what's happening is that people are getting tests, and so because they're being tested, they've already probably had it for a week, 2 weeks.
Right.
So if they come back positive, it's just confirming that it's confirming that probably 6% of the more people have it than we know.
Right.
So don't panic.
Right.
It's going to be okay. Oklahoma has 10,000 more tests. So that means, a lot more people are going to show that they have it. But in theory,
right,
almost all of us probably have it anyways.
Right. I mean, or not even that, but it's just exactly like you mentioned. We're going to be seeing these jumps, and again, yes, the virus is spreading, but these are mostly people who have already had the virus.
Exactly.
And that is something that is interesting, especially whenever the news media is reporting that the United States now leads the world in cases. Which, yes, that is huge, but they're like, oh, we passed Italy. But it's also important to know that our population is literally 4 times that of Italy. So that we were bound to pass Italy, but now that we passed China, that's more alarming to me. But China's also been dealing with this for longer than we have, so it was just bound to happen.
Yeah, we have to remember too. In China, they've been dealing with it since around December is when it started happening, but they didn't get tests until early February.
Right.
So a lot of the people that they have said have come back as positive testing is just the people that are there now, not 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Mm-hmm. So in theory, their numbers are probably outrageous compared to ours.
Right.
But it's just because it didn't really hit us. And then when it did, we already had tests available for the United States.
Yeah.
So that's why we surpassed them. And knowing China, they're not telling us the truth anyways.
Right.
And hopefully America, we are reporting everything that we're supposed to be reporting.
Right. To the best of our ability that we can know, of course.
Right. And another thing about the test too is the test, when you do take the test, it doesn't show if you have it. So I've seen a lot of people ask the question like, well, maybe I had it in January. Can I take the test now to see? The answer is no.
Right.
It leaves your system after, if you survive it, it leaves your system after like 14,
just like any other infection,
to 20 days. Right. So you can't, like if you had the flu in January, I can't go and get the flu test now. It'll be a negative.
Just like anything else.
Right.
That isn't a chronic illness.
So no, you can't go be tested if you did go out of the country between, December and January. You don't know if you had it or not.
Exactly.
So
which is weird. I mean, and
it is weird, but
and I think a lot of it has to do with one, how people are handling it, but two, also how a lot of media is reporting it.
Yes,
because they are making it sound like that. I mean, it is a big deal. Again, we're not trying to brush us away.
No. It's a huge deal.
But it's whenever they say, "Oh, we've surpassed Italy," but that doesn't.
But they don't tell us like, okay, Italy only has X amount of people, and we only have X amount of people.
Right. I mean,
I will say that the deaths in America, we have a pretty high percentage of deaths, which is kind of alarming in a way.
Of course.
And I don't know if it's just because we weren't prepared like medically for it. Like we were prepared to test it, but medically were we not prepared? Is that why people are dying? I'm not sure.
Right.
But the news is doing not a good job of saying, hey, in comparison, they have less people or more. We have more people than them, so it's like makes sense that more people have it here.
Yeah. So basically, PBS, Associated Press,
yes,
NPR, and BBC, and also official government.
And the GIS data map.
And the GIS data map. Yep, absolutely.
We love the data map.
Yeah, we do, because it's very interesting.
But yeah, just stay at home. Don't panic. If you do have signs, there's a whole list of things on the CDC website and what you're supposed to do. So just go get tested.
Yeah. And then
you'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. It basically all comes down to how we handle it. And I would like to say that I do think that this COVID-19 has really showcased the solidarity of the community in Tulsa, at least, because it is really cool seeing how our local artists and how they're reacting to COVID. So, of course, big music venues are being closed. So we have, of course, Tulsa's like Kane's Ballroom, the Vanguard, the BOK Center having to move all these concerts. And this, of course, harms our local musicians the most because they don't have the big record deals and things like that. So they're actually being really innovative on how they are still being able to perform while all this is going on. So there was actually a really cool event that the Philbrook Museum of Art hosted this past Friday. It was a festival called Cabin Fever, which is I think that's a really clever, really clever play on words. And they had quite a bit of local artists, including Sarah Frick of Golden Ones, who we've had on the show, just doing acoustic numbers in the cabin at the Philbrook. So that was already really cool. And we also have music venues we also have bars that double as music videos. They will have their stage open for live streaming, which is really cool there as well. But the coolest thing is that, of course, you can't buy tickets to a live stream thing. That just doesn't make a lot of sense. So they're doing these virtual tip jars through Cash App, PayPal. I don't know why that was so hard to say, and as well as Venmo. So it's really cool still being able to support our local artists while all this is happening. And even people like Joey Duffy, who we've had on from Cliff Diver, he's actually been taking requests via tips, and he's been live streaming solo piano performances.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it is really cool how we are still supporting our local community. And then we even had, I think on Tuesday was like the great national takeout day where you're supposed to go to a local restaurant and, support them. So I would like to say kudos to Tulsa for being innovative in how we're handling this and still supporting our businesses and artists. So,
yeah, I love that.
Yeah. And we actually have a really cool collaboration that we're going to mention at the end with a local business. So stay tuned for that. But for now, we are going to go into the political world and Joe Biden. Oh, Joe Biden. This is
Creepy Joe to the max.
Creepy Joe to the max. So, Lydia, what has happened with Joseph Robinette Biden Jr.?
Well, old Creepy Joe has been accused by 8 women of sexual assault.
Yikes. Yeah, big yikes.
Can we just not get one? Like, why is he leading? It just aggravates me so much.
What else is aggravating is as we continue to talk about this, but we were talking earlier. So, I mean, you and I, we were technically born during George H.W. Bush, but it was his last term. We were like 6 months when it happened. So, I mean, officially, we've lived through basically Clinton, Bush, Obama, and Trump. And 2 of those 4 have had sexual
relations with those women.
Yeah, sexual inappropriate and in very bad
8 counts.
Yeah,
Joe
very
Biden.
bad allegations. So we're of course talking about President Bill Clinton and President Donald Trump, who have been accused by, of course, the famous ones were Monica Lewinsky with Clinton and then Stormy Daniels with Trump. So we are batting at a 50% average. So
50%.
Shout out to George W. Bush and Barack Obama for being a decent human,
good dudes,
being decent human beings and not it makes me upset.
It's not cool.
You
can't do that, guys. I just get so angry.
And prepare to get angrier. So
I'm getting angry already.
So basically, the Huffington Post reported on March 27th that Democratic frontrunner Joe Biden has been accused by 8 women of inappropriately touching them. Nonprofit organization Time's Up, which is the famous one that has been, getting the hashtag Me Too movement trending, said that they couldn't help one of the primary accusers, that being Tara Reid, because Biden was a candidate for federal office, and if they assisted her, they could lose the organization's nonprofit status. Which, on one hand, I understand, but if you are really wanting to promote the safety of people who have been sexually assaulted, that's a risk you should be willing to take. But so go ahead and the B point. This is to me the most maddening one. So what's going on here?
During the Brett Kavanaugh hearings brought up by Dr. Blaisley Ford in 2018, Biden said, "For a woman to come forward in the glaring lights of focus nationally, you've got to start off with the presumption that at least the essence of what she's talking about is real. Whether or not she forgets facts, whether or not it's been made worse or better over time." Many on Twitter were calling on prominent Democrats to unendorse Biden, hashtag unendorse Biden, which was trending late last week. So far, no Democrat has done so.
This is the part that makes me angriest. This makes me so mad because, of course, we want to believe all women. Like, what Joe Biden said is accurate. Like, even though some of the facts might not be, because one, that's a traumatic event, but two, in many of these cases, it's been 30, 40, 20 years where of course, you're going to forget a lot of the details, but what he said, you would not go on a national stage to accuse somebody and be wrong in 9.9 out of 10 cases. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that, yes, there are no false accusations don't exist, but the majority of these women are to be believed. So whenever we have a serious accusation like this, it is appropriate, in my view, to believe the women until they are otherwise, proven right, just like a court of law. And that is a serious accusation.
Well, and most of the time, if it's not 100% true, it has stemmed from something. So whether it was not full sexual assault, wherever you want to make that line,
right?
Inappropriate touching is the beginning of all of that, right?
And so Joe Biden is notorious for that.
He's notorious. Yes. Yes, he will.
Yeah, it gives me the creeps. I need to use hand sanitizer, not because of COVID, but because of Joe Biden.
Because of Joe.
Yeah. And what makes me so angry about this is that, like, Dr. Blaisley Ford, she delivered that very emotional testimony. Yeah. I 100% believe that she was telling the truth, and she obviously did not want to be there, but she was telling her side of the story. Then, of course, you had all the Democrats, like, hashtag believe all women. That was something that was trending, and that is, again, a right thing to trend. But notice how nobody's really reporting this. I mean, for 8 women to come out and say, hey, Joe Biden is a creepy dude, he's been doing this inappropriate stuff and nothing's really picking it up. To me, that is poor leadership on the Democratic establishment's part. And I think that the women at least need a chance to testify,
I agree.
Like, just get given their due like any other person. And, if we're going to hold Donald Trump, like we as in the Democrats, not that I'm affiliated with them, but I'm just saying if they are to hold Donald Trump to one standard, but Joe Biden to another one, that's not right.
Yeah.
If you are going to be fighting for social justice, you have to fight it no matter what,
no matter who it is.
Right. So like if this happened with Bernie Sanders, everybody knows, it's no secret that I like him. That's something that ought to be investigated.
100%.
Because it's something that is heinous, it's awful, and that supersedes a political agenda, because that's a human rights issue.
Yeah.
And of course a legal issue, but that's kind of all I have to say about that. And really shame on a lot of the Democrats for not
doing anything.
And I also don't really care for how Dr. Blaisley Ford was treated after the Brett Kavanaugh hearings. It was kind of like the meme from Toy Story where Andy's like, I don't want to play with you anymore. And they dropped Dr. Blaisley Ford as Woody, and because they really haven't advocated on anybody's behalf since then, it's just a lot of how can we use these victims to basically do our political agenda and then not do anything else about it. And to me, that's why it's really sad that Time's Up isn't able to do anything, because that should be the independent partisan.
Yeah, it's odd that that's like in their contract or something. Like, what are the
I mean, I don't know if it's in their contract or if they're just doing it to preserve their business, or not their business, but their outreach, which that kind of makes sense. But I think, again, this supersedes.
I think it definitely overpowers that.
Yeah. And then also in political news, we had former Oklahoma Senator Dr. Tom Coburn. He passed away this past week. So, Lydia, what did PBS say about that?
So on March 28th, Senator Coburn passed away due to complications from prostate cancer.
Yes, and he's been battling prostate cancer for a while, and he also had skin cancer back in the 1990s
Did
as well. Yeah,
wow.
like
it's unfortunate.
meningioma or something like that. I can't. Melanoma. Thank you. Yeah, can't remember it. So Coburn is one of Oklahoma's kind of more famous politicians. He was referred to by the Democrats as Dr. No, because he does have his MD, and he's been known to cut spending for both sides of the party. Or both sides of the aisle. He's been for cutting excessive spending and things like that. So Coburn served 3 terms as Oklahoma's representative for the 2nd House District, which includes Muskogee, Tahlequah, places like that. And then he didn't run for re-election in 2000, but then he ran for Senate successfully in 2004. Coburn retired from the Senate in 2014, fulfilling a campaign promise that he would only serve 2 terms. So shout out to
love him.
Shout out to Dr. Coburn for actually doing what he says. Unlike, we have senators like James,
cough, cough.
Yeah, cough, cough, Inhofe, who is going to be
on
ancient.
his 85th term.
He'll be 5th term, 85, whatever. Yeah, but basically he fulfilled this promise that he would only serve 2 terms. And Coburn was known not only for his fiscal and social conservatism, but he was also known for his strong friendship with future President Barack Obama, because they did enter the Senate together in 2004. So they were both freshman senators in the same time. And even at one point, Dr. Coburn saying that he, quote, loves the man despite their stark political disagreements. So rest in peace, Tom Coburn. Whether or not you agree or disagree with him politically, he's better than Inhofe. And I feel like that's kind of the consensus out of the 2 senators that we had at the time between Coburn and Inhofe. Coburn wasn't the one bringing the snowball into office and saying, climate change isn't real, Mr. President. There you go. You know? So there's that.
And I'm still mad about the whole Inhofe thing in his stock trading.
Oh, yeah.
That's still, nobody has done anything for that either this week. It's been a whole week.
Yeah, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. It's
freaking ridiculous.
It is freaking ridiculous.
I saw a article that old Jeff Bezos sold $3.4 billion before the coronavirus crisis.
Yeah, and he is also asking for his workers to donate sick time. It's like, dude, you can't spare like 0.001% of your net worth to help out your damn employees who are creating your wealth for you.
I saw this guy on Twitter. He did some math. And
was this guy Stephen T. English?
It wasn't you.
Okay.
But this is something you would do.
Okay.
If Jeff Bezos gave $10,000 to each one of his employees, no. If Jeff Bezos gave $10,000 to the 3.3 million people who filed for unemployment, he would still have $50 billion left.
Billion with a B.
With a B.
I feel like a lot of people don't understand the difference between billion and million. It is astronomical.
100%.
And it's I always like to do the seconds analogy. So a million seconds ago was either, I can't remember the math right without pulling it up, was either late December of 2019 or mid-January of 2020. So recently, a million seconds is recent. A billion seconds ago, 1988. So we would have been negative 4 years old.
How crazy
is that? So that is literally the difference. And imagine having 55 billion. 55 billion. Yeah. So
all like if all of the billionaires got together and said, hey, we're going to donate just a couple $1 million, million. Even a billion, a couple $1 billion.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, donate what you want. Yeah.
It's literally chump change. They make it back in a week.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So we need to be more like good old Tom Steyer.
Steyer.
I kind of miss Tom Steyer in the race. I mean, I know he obviously wasn't doing very well, but the fact that he's one of the billionaires who has pledged to give away the majority of his wealth before he passes away, and he actually advocates for social change, good for you, Tom Steyer.
Go, Tom.
Go, Tom.
Another thing we didn't talk about either. Did you see that Bloomberg, somebody's trying to get Bloomberg in trouble for giving that money to the DNC?
Yeah, to beat Trump, which, I mean, at least he's putting his money where his mouth is, but he's probably doing it in a shady way.
He probably did it shadily. Yeah. But at least he was, giving his money back.
I mean, at least he was, so we'll see about that. So
isn't that just crazy, though?
It's absolutely crazy. So amid all of this,
I just want 1% of that money.
Right, or 0.01%.
0.01% of that money.
Yeah, and because that's, again, it's chump change to him. It's absolutely chump change. So we'll see. So, but the good news to come out of this is that we spent most of the episode not talking about coronavirus. So shout out to that. So that's great. But also we are going to like to close this episode with what we are doing for COVID relief here in Tulsa. So as hinted at earlier, we are partnering with local business Ambition Co. And they have done all of our apparel, all of our shirts. They are fantastic
workers. Love them.
The great artists, great community members to help provide local COVID relief. So how are we doing this, Lydia?
I think this date is wrong.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. And no. I'm trying to figure out what the date is for next Monday before I begin.
No, next Monday should be the 30th.
This Monday is the 30th. Tomorrow is the 30th.
Oh, okay. Then you're right. So it will go from the 30th to next Monday.
The 31st is Tuesday.
Okay. And then Wednesday's April 1st.
And then Thursday's the 2nd.
Yep.
Friday's the 3rd.
Yep.
Saturday's the 4th, 5th, 6th. So the 6th. Okay.
Excuse me. So I'm at starting today on the 30th and ending on April the 6th. So basically what I could have wrote 1 week from today. That would have been 1 week from today would have been way easier. Yeah,
but it's okay.
I'm sorry.
So we are partnering with local business Ambition Co. to help provide local COVID relief here in Tulsa. Starting today and ending next Monday, April 6th.
April 6th, not the 30th.
You can buy a limited edition Stevia shirt that is perfect for spring and summer. It has our beautiful skyline on it, the Tulsa skyline, and it has a flattened curve on it.
Yes, so it is really cool. Lydia and I designed this together. It was a lot of fun. It's a really cool mint green color. Mm-hmm. It has kind of that more athletic material, so it's really good for. It's not like a soccer jersey, but it is more like athletic.
Yeah, it's material. More like a comfy material.
Very comfy. It is very comfy. So basically, 100% of profits will go to local COVID relief, and that basically means we aren't keeping any of the money because we do want to help out our community because we know even though we are Tulsa's podcast, we do want to help out Tulsa the best way we can. So if you would like to support us during this time, you can always continue to do so via Anchor, which we'll be talking about later, but all of these proceeds will go towards coronavirus relief in the Tulsa metro area.
The design and link to buy the shirts will be on all of our social media accounts and pinned on the top of our Facebook and Twitter for the duration of the shirt sale. The shirts will be $20. We are Tulsa's podcast and Tulsa's team. Let's work together and help out our community and flatten the curve.
Absolutely. So you have 1 week to buy these limited edition t-shirts. You'll be hearing a lot about it, I'm sure, until next Monday, until a week from today. And also with Friday being payday for a lot of us.
I get paid on Tuesday this week.
Oh,
so odd.
Oh, yeah, because you're monthly. Okay,
yeah.
So I get paid on Friday. That will be a good time to buy the shirt. Don't worry, we will remind you.
Yeah, we'll remind you. Don't you worry. And if you could like and share the post so other people outside of just us can see it. That'd be really cool too.
Yeah, because again, we love being Tulsa's podcast. We love having Team Stevia, so we want to do what we can to help out those in need with COVID-19 relief. And we will of course be transparent with us once we give away the money. Once we get the money in the shirt sales, we will of course publicly announce how much profit we made off of it, and we will show the handoff of the funds. So
should we get a giant check?
Well, let's see how much the money is. If it's like, like if nobody orders it, which I hope they do, but if it's like $10, no, we should not get a giant check. That'd be insulting.
Okay, if we get $300.
Okay, I'll fist bump that.
$300, we look into giant checks.
We'll look into it to see how much it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, deal.
Look into a giant check, something like that.
Because that'd be fun.
That would be fun, yeah. Or almost like a ribbon cutting type sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so okay, we will look into it at $300.
So try to make my goal, guys, please, because I really want a giant check.
I'm wearing my PBS shirt, so now I feel like this is like a PBS like telethon.
PBS nerd telethon.
Where we're like, yes, hello, thank you for supporting.
Thanks for your 5 cents.
Right, exactly.
It'll go towards a giant check.
Yeah. But more importantly, okay, the giant check will come out of our pockets.
Yeah.
But again, 100% of the proceeds will go towards local COVID relief. So we do hope you all
I'll use my stimulus check on
the giant check. A $1,200 giant check. That would
it would be so huge. I'm getting off topic. I'm really sorry.
We could probably buy like 4 billboards and make it one giant chef, but we are not doing that. That would be very unwise.
That is an idea.
It's a bad idea.
Ding, ding, ding.
But no, it's a bad idea. But yes,
Okay.
so please consider buying a shirt. Again, those links will be everywhere in our socials. And that about does it for today's episode 72. So not as grim as last episode.
Not as
thankfully.
grim.
So I'm glad that it seems that people are taking this seriously. Continue taking this seriously. Continue supporting your local creators and your artists, and just stay 6 feet away. Just be smart. Team
Be
Steve,
smart.
which I know you all are. So be
You're
smart.
the smartest team out there, so we know that you're being smart.
Yeah, absolutely. So of course you can. Oh, good catch. What's up? What
You
do have?
guys,
What?
you guys they need to join our Discord.
Oh yeah.
It makes me sad that not a lot of people want to join right now.
Yeah, but I mean,
we're having good parties in there. They're talking about lots of that game.
Oh, Animal Crossing, because Lydia hasn't played it. Yeah,
Lots of Animal Crossing talk.
it's so cute. I love Animal Crossing, and I love our Discord.
And Ethan has been showing us a bunch of foods that he's been making.
Yes, that looks
Love
delicious.
that.
Yeah, maybe whenever if we ever get rich and famous, we can maybe hire Ethan to be like our
chef.
our Team Stevia chef, and he can not only create with us, but he can also be like
He can feed us.
He can feed us, but we pay him for it, of course.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But that's all.
So join the Discord. That's all I wanted to add.
Join the
okay,
Discord.
now you can go on and do the things.
Absolutely. I will go on and do the things. So as always, you can follow us on all the social media platforms with the handle at The Stevia Show. It's the same on everything. So be sure to subscribe to the podcast on whichever podcast app you listen to. If you are listening or watching on YouTube, just simply search for The Stevia Show and subscribe with the notification button so you don't miss anything.
We would like to thank our anchor producers for their continued support. You can support us for as little as 99 cents a month and receive exclusive Discord roles and bonus episodes every month.
Yes, bonus episodes every month.
Every month.
Every month, we're going to have these bonus episodes, and they are a lot of fun. So with that in mind, we also have merchandise available through our links in our social media bios. So when you visit us online, check out our link tree and click on merch. We ship nationwide as well. So if you are listening in any other of the 49 states plus territories and would like to get one of our COVID-19 relief shirts, you can definitely do that. We will ship it to you, and it will include a nice virtual warm hug. If you're in, or if you don't want to hug, just a nice, sincere thank you. Either way, virtual, because
It's virtual
because we're gonna keep it, 6 feet away. So we're gonna go ahead and make the most out of this, and let's flatten the curve together, Team Stevia. So I think that's about it for today.
That's it.
Yeah, you can see us in episode 73, which will be a week from today, and also when the T-shirt sales ends, not on the 30th, which would be.
Is it
today.
the 30th? Is it the 6th at midnight?
I'm sure that's what it'll be.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll like end of day next Monday.
It's weird. I get paid on Tuesday,
Yeah.
so I'll just buy one on Tuesday, I guess.
Yeah, or you could just buy one now. I mean, it's whatever.
I can't. It's Sunday.
Oh, that's true. You're not
Well,
paid
technically,
yet.
it's Monday,
It is. Yeah,
which I guess I could.
this quarantine.
I guess I can right now.
Yeah.
Maybe I already have done it.
Maybe
By the time this is released, maybe I already did it.
maybe you have. Yeah.
Ooh.
That's a plot twist.
Future Lydia, what do you think?
But here's not a plot twist. As always, this is Steven.
And this is Lydia.
We will see you all later.
Bye.
Bye.